All right, good morning.
Hi.
Welcome to Up with KREM. My name is Nicole Hernandez.
And I'm Tim Pham. We have a lot to get to this morning, including the weather forecast.
We do.
And it's a little bit breezy this morning as you start off this Thursday morning, but it is also kind of smoky, Nicole.
It is. It is a bit smoky if you're heading out the door. We actually had the air running in studio here, and we had to turn it off because it was pulling smoke in. There is a little bit of some air quality that's diminished, but it's not really much. So the worst right now is out in Spokane Valley. It's moderate at 63. Other spots, North Spokane, downtown Spokane, still having good air quality. So while it smells like smoke, it's really not impacting our actual air quality all that much, which is a good thing. We don't want the air quality to be bad. Also, it's going to be a little bit breezy today. We've got 20-mile-per-hour gusts that are going to stick around for the most of the day. I'll let you know when they calm down coming up here in just a bit. But as for your sunshine and afternoon temperatures, things a little bit cooler today than they were yesterday, but still in the 80s.
Here's a live look at the traffic impact from I-90 and Maple. This is looking towards downtown Spokane. You can see traffic flow moving great here. We're not seeing any major issues at this hour. We'll keep a close eye on traffic all morning long. Let you know if there's any slowdowns or any problem spots on your morning commute. On Up with KREM, we bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes.
This morning, we are tracking a wildfire burning about 30 miles southwest of Spokane near Bonnie Lake. It's called the Texas Seagull fire. It has burned about 400 acres since it started yesterday afternoon.
Right now, level 3 go now evacuations are in place. The area includes the areas shaded in red here. That includes north of Bonnie Lake to West Cheney Plaza Road and east to South Wells Road. Firefighters have been on the scene throughout the night trying to get the fire under control.
KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is live there this morning with an update on their progress. Brandon?
Yeah, good morning, Tim, Nicole. Well, no major changes. We got a chance to speak with Spokane County Fire District 3, and they told me that no major changes is actually good news when it comes to a fire of this size. So about 450 acres, which means it hasn't grown from last night. Right now, actually, it looks like they are starting to debrief, so more crews have started to arrive here on the scene. I'm sure more information has been learned throughout the night, but again, the key detail that we learned this morning is that no major changes, no growth when it comes to this fire. There still are those level 3 evacuations in place. In fact, once we got closer to this scene, our phones just started to buzz, letting us know that there were level 3 evacuations here in this area and that you should be ready and need to go. But crews say the fire is being fueled by timber, grass, and wheat stubble. Again, as of last night, crews said started to slow down. That wind started to slow down a little bit as well. We did get a chance again to speak with Spokane County Fire District 3 just moments ago.
Yesterday we had some pretty erratic winds and some higher wind gusts, which made it difficult for firefighting efforts. Today we do have lower winds predicted, so we're hoping that the weather continues to cooperate with us today and we can make some good progress on it.
And lower winds, does that mean it's a little bit easier to get some of those air crews out here?
Yeah, it could help with air resources out here, but it just helps us on the ground because it lowers that or limits that fire spread.
So currently there are about 5 homes being threatened according to Spokane County Fire District 3, and we did learn that there hasn't been any damage to those homes. There's no reports of any damage to those homes. Again, fire officials just saying this is a stark reminder that fires happen quickly here in our area and people should always be prepared and ready to go. So we'll continue to have coverage here throughout the entire morning, but for now I'll go ahead and toss it back to you in the studio.
Hey, Brandon, real quick while you're out there, we talked a little bit about those winds. Were you able to get an idea from crews how quickly and why the fire spread so quickly yesterday afternoon?
That's something we still haven't learned at this particular moment, Nicole, though as soon as they're done with that debrief, though, that's going to be one of my first questions about just kind of what sparked this up, what were those conditions like, especially with that wind, and then any other details we can get, we'll be sure to relay that back to you all and to all of the viewers out there.
Yeah, Brandon, and this is a good reminder. There are burn bans in effect for parts of eastern Washington in response to our current fire danger. The Bureau of Land Management is increasing fire restrictions. Starting tomorrow, all campfires will be banned. Using a firearm is also prohibited, but there are exceptions for hunting. Smoking is only authorized in areas that is clear of flammable vegetation. And if you plan to go off-roading or park off-road, make sure the roadways are clear of any flammable vegetation. As a reminder, here in Washington state, fireworks are prohibited on public lands.
You can learn more about our wildfire risk in our Environment Northwest special, Living with Wildfires. You can stream that right now on KREM 2+. It's free to download and watch on your TV.
The quadruple murder case against Bryan Kohberger is ending much sooner than expected. Yesterday in court, he pleaded guilty to killing 4 University of Idaho students in their off-campus home in Moscow in 2022.
From the very beginning, people from around the world have been watching this case, expecting the trial to start in August. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley was in the courtroom yesterday and has the latest from Boise.
This plea hearing in the Moscow murder case caught us all by surprise. Even when we learned Bryan Kohberger was expected to enter a guilty plea, we really didn't know what to expect in Ada County Court. But yesterday, he admitted to killing the 4 University of Idaho students. A courtroom on edge, anticipating Bryan Kohberger's admission of guilt for the murder of Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin.
Did you, on November 13th, 2022, enter the residence at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder?
Yes.
Kohberger sat before the Ada County judge and the students' families, pleading guilty to all charges against him, 1 count of burglary and 4 counts of murder.
Did you, on November 13th, 2022, in Latah County, state of Idaho, kill and murder Madison Mogen, a human being?
Yes.
And did you do that willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, and with premeditation and malice of forethought?
Yes.
Did you, on or about that same date in Moscow, Idaho, kill and murder Kaylee Gonsalves, a human being?
Yes.
And did you do that willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, and with premeditation and malice of forethought?
Yes.
And did you, on that same date in Moscow, Idaho, kill and murder Xana Kernodle, a human being?
Yes.
And did you do that willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation and malice of forethought?
Yes.
And then on or about November 13th, 2022, again in Latah County, Idaho, did you kill and murder Ethan Chapin, a human being?
Yes.
The Latah County prosecutor summarized the evidence the state would have presented in trial, including several new details about the night of the crime in November 2022.
The defendant entered the residence of 1122 through the kitchen sliding door on the back side of the residence, which is the side of the residence that would face the area above where the defendant's car was parked.
The prosecutor says Coberger went straight to the 3rd floor bedroom of the King Road home, confronting Maddie and Kaylee. He says that's where the knife sheath with Coberger's DNA was left behind. The murder weapon still hasn't been found.
Mr. Coberger entered the residence at 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. He did that with the intent to kill.
The state says he didn't go home right away, but once he did, they found this evidence on his phone.
He took a selfie of himself on his phone in what appears to be the bathroom of his Pullman apartment with a thumbs up.
The judge accepted Kohberger's guilty plea. He now faces a life sentence in prison. The judge will rule on his punishment at the sentencing hearing set for July 23rd. That is when the families get to share their impact statements. Attorneys are confident that hearing will conclude the same day. In the courtroom this morning, I sat right behind Kohberger's family. I saw his father a few times wipe his eyes and otherwise holding his wife in his arms. When I looked across the courtroom, the victims' families kept their focus straight forward, as though they were letting the guilty pleas set in and processing what was happening in that hearing. Reporting in Boise, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
The official plea agreement document was publicly filed, showing Bryan Kohberger signed the deal Monday. The agreement surprised many people, but former Idaho Attorney General Dave Leroy said the outcome was relatively expected.
The alternative theory of perpetrators collapsing last week, it was predictable that if there was to be a plea, it would be right now.
The former Idaho Attorney General also said an attorney's top objective in a capital case like this is to avoid the death penalty. So he says this outcome is something of a victory for the defense.
We have more coverage of the plea deal still ahead this morning. In our next half hour, we hear from some of the families of the students who were murdered.
We are taking a live look at the House floor this morning, where lawmakers are debating President Trump's budget bill. Early this morning, several Republican lawmakers switched their vote from no to yes. The nearly 900-page bill would preserve the 2017 Trump tax cuts, give tax relief on tips and overtime pay, and increase border and defense spending. It also makes steep cuts to health and nutrition programs like Medicaid and SNAP. If the bill passes, it will go to President Trump's desk. But if the House makes changes, the Senate would need to approve those.
Sean Diddy Combs was found not guilty on federal racketeering and sex trafficking charges by a jury, though he was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation for prostitution. Right now, Combs remains in jail, the judge denying bail until a sentencing hearing, saying Combs' attorneys failed to demonstrate that he poses no danger to any person. His legal team still sees the day as a victory. Sentencing is scheduled for October.